Hello, everyone. I'm Emily.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are the hosts of the I Don't Think So podcast. Each episode, we discuss a different story, theory, or mystery, and we decide if we think it's believable or if we really don't think so.
Here at the I Don't Think So podcast, we are affiliated with Flurry Sports, and we present our theories on your favorite place to listen to podcasts every Wednesday. If you like what you hear, definitely follow us on our X account, Instagram, or Threads at I Don't Think So _EH. And definitely check out our YouTube at IDTS Conspiracies or any of the other Flurry Sport networks on YouTube, X, Instagram, I don't know. TikTok?
TikTok?
We don't have a TikTok.
We don't have a TikTok,
But
Flurry Sports does.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good. We would like to, by the time this episode comes out, voting will be closed, but we do want to thank all of our listeners for voting for us in the Volume 1 poll for Best of Podcast, and shout out to whomever put us up for the award, which was pretty cool. So we appreciate it.
We do.
You know, maybe next time we'll be up to date a little better and let you know when the voting's still open that it's open.
And you can vote for us.
You can vote for us. But yeah, thank you all for the votes, the kind well wishes.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do next year? What is it? Most sultry voice on the radio or whatever? That'll be us.
Wonder if it can be a combo award.
Oh, our voices sound very similar, so they're probably like, no,
We'll give it to
one
them.
and the same. But happy December, everybody. We are in our second week here. And I today just put up my Christmas village. That's like one of those things I collect. And every year I add to it. And this year it was like kind of hard because I didn't have a ton of space to lay them all out.
Mm-hmm.
But I got them to fit.
There you go.
But then I like blew a fuse.
No. The
And
dreaded fuse
run
box.
to town and I bought a bunch of, they're all AA battery ones.
Oh.
So I just pulled the cords and put batteries in all the ones that I could. Which makes it quite interesting when I want to turn it on. I have to go like to each individual one and turn it on.
The worst.
And most of them have like switches either direction. So either it's just lights or it's lights and music.
Oh.
And I didn't realize that at first. And so I turned them on and they were all on music and they were all playing different songs. And it was like, chong, cha, cha. Like,
a little
whoa.
overstimulated, like, ah!
I was like lights flashing, but I got it all set up and then I cried. And I was like, good.
Love that.
It was so great. So I hope you're having a great December, enjoying the holiday season a little bit here. But we're going to talk a little bit about a conspiracy today that is related to the holiday season, and particularly movies.
Love that.
Hannah and I are big movie girlies.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all around holiday movies and conspiracies that kind of go with them.
Cool.
I don't have super in-depth information on them, but I thought that'd be fun regardless.
Oh, for sure.
So the first big one, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It came out in 1964. It's that claymation one for everybody who's like,
We did a theory about him last year.
We did do.
Oh, he was like a...
That Rudolph's nose was for like infidelity.
Yes, was he like a bastard child or something?
He was a bastard child. And the nose was... Go look back at that if you would like. This is a little bit of a different theory. Also related to a child. And in this one, it's Hermie. If you'll remember him being that little blonde elf who wanted to be the dentist.
Is it that everyone thinks he's gay?
No. That I feel like is confirmed.
That's also a theory.
I don't know if that's a theory, if that's just, it is what it is. You know? However, this conspiracy posits that he's actually Santa's son. And he's having his little rebellion period.
Oh.
So if you'll remember the movie, Hermie the elf who wants to be a dentist, he really doesn't look like any of the other elves.
No.
At all in the show. He doesn't have the pointy ears. He doesn't have the big nose. Nothing like that. But if you look at Santa,
he looks like him.
He looks like Santa. He's got the exact same nose as Santa Claus. He also has the exact same ears.
So this is like a Buddy the Elf kind of thing.
Yes.
Love that.
Love that for him. The theory is that Hermie's actually Santa's, rebellious little son. So Santa's attitude is kind of crabby throughout the entire film. And the theory says that he's unhappy because his son is not really going along with the culture of the North Pole. So maybe he was training him to be like a really good toy maker, and that's why the leader elf is so hard on him.
Maybe.
Because he was specifically there to become the next Santa Claus. Another small thing is that like Mrs. Claus throughout the movie will always refer to Santa as Papa.
Mm-hmm.
And typically couples don't call themselves Mama and Papa unless they have children.
Yeah.
So, and another big thing with that film, going back to, there's a lot of daddy issues in that film. With Rudolph, obviously if you go back to that conspiracy theory that we already talked about, but throughout the film, his dad hates him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hates him. I know Clarice, her dad's always like, you can't be with a red-nosed deer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what's the problem? So maybe it's kind of just an overall theme.
So you're saying the writers also had daddy issues and they wanted to portray that through as many relationships as possible.
That's right. They're like, everybody's got a daddy, bro. Not one of you has a healthy relationship with your father. So that's the first movie and the first theme. I do have a picture if you want to look, but
I see it.
I
it
mean,
looks good. We'll have to post it. Check it out on our Instagram, X, or Threads right now. I definitely see it.
I see it. I mean, if Santa was a blonde babe with some hair, him and Hermie, exactly the same. Also, I saw a TikTok where they were like making fun of these old claymation movies and how like their mouths just open and close.
Yeah.
But don't really like dictate.
No.
And it's just so funny. And I was like, there you go. Well, that's true. Claymation's weird.
Kind of creeps me out.
Yeah. The next one in the film, Jingle All the Way, which came out in 1996, Myron doesn't exist at all and is the manifestation of Howard's stress while he experiences kind of a full mental breakdown trying to find a doll. So I've
never seen the movie.
Oh, it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. He's like looking for this doll, I think right at the edge of Christmas time.
Like to purchase it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like Myron only shows up when like Arnold's character is like wickedly stressed.
Oh,
he's like
maybe he's like
character.
a guardian angel. Like some movies will have that.
True. Otherwise, classic sign of psychotic break. When you're really stressed out, you start seeing
people.
Things.
Well, I was thinking like Princess Switch. The guardian angels that was there. It's like ringing the bell. He's just a Santa. He's also sudden shows up somewhere in Europe.
Another big thing, Myron in the film pretty much never interacts with like the general public. He pretty much only interacts with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
Mental breakdown.
He's just having a little mentee beat trying to find this doll. It's a good movie. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. To me is always going to be the kindergarten cop.
Yeah.
And I feel like this film like kind of fits in that theme where he's just this very like unfit fatherly figure.
That's fair. That's funny.
He's a good dude. All right.
He's an alumni of UW Superior.
Schwarzenegger?
Mm-hmm. He got his master's degree in business through UWS.
Really?
They have a whole little thing for him in our like field house. I'm sure it was like done. I was thinking he's done it virtually. He probably didn't though. He must have had to come.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Had to be there. Like there had to be an unveiling, a ribbon cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Shot.
There you go.
Cool. Love Arnie.
Similar alums.
He's still a governor?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Definitely not because he was the governor of California. He's not the governor of California now.
That's true.
Not for like decades.
Damn. Sorry, Arnie. I was really rooting for you there.
His son was on Dancing with the Stars last season.
Oh, I didn't watch last season's.
Wasn't as good.
It's a good season this season.
Not a fan of Charlie D'Amelio, and she won.
Oh. I feel like someone who's a TikTok dancer shouldn't be on there.
Yeah. I mean, JoJo Siwa was on there.
Which I also thought is a terrible, like, literally got her start
through
being
dancing.
A dancer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you get to? Anyways,
Tangent.
next theory is all about the Santa Claus movie.
Oh, love.
Which we talked about, again.
We talked about last season about he faked his death.
This conspiracy talks about how when Santa dies, if you believe he dies, or if he faked his own death,
He faked his demise.
yeah, you'll notice that none of the elves react to his death at all.
Oh, no.
They're just like, "Wow, what are you gonna do?"
It's because they knew, and they perfectly chose Scott Calvin for a reason. See, you have to watch Santa Claus, like, the series, season 2. It explains it all.
I still haven't watched season 1.
Oh,
I'm
we
a
should.
hater. I know. I've got time. I'm off work tomorrow.
They're only 6 episodes, 30 minutes. You can crank that out.
I'm off work tomorrow. I can get it done. This conspiracy actually believes that, he did die.
Okay.
And maybe by North Pole law, the elves were not allowed to react.
No. I don't think so. I disagree.
So there's a scene in the Santa Claus 2 where Santa tells Bernard that the most important thing is for him to not touch Santa. Well, there may be a rule or a law at the time that said that elves could not get emotionally attached to their boss.
But they are emotionally attached to him.
Yeah, maybe now they are because he's broken all the rules. He's a cool Santa.
He's a cool Santa.
The last Santa was by the book, because they know at some point he's going to slip and fall off a roof and Jack Frost is going to take over. I love
Gotta shake the snow globe.
the escape clause. Love. When you think about the framing of the films, being Santa Claus is kind of like a business. It's not really a person so much as a title or a role that will get passed on from person to person.
Which is true. I think that's fair. And they are very legal minded for certain things.
You remember Bernard? He was
Bernard's serious. And then the thing is in the series, it turns into Betty. Betty's even more of a hard ass than Bernard.
Love.
Because Bernard ends up retiring because he marries some old woman.
Get it.
Watch the film. It's good. Or the series. It's good. I highly recommend.
But since it passes on from person to person, Christmas can't be disturbed. It has to keep continuing. So maybe the elves need to move on and kind of continue working with no time to grieve. So feelings, emotions, you're just going to get in the way. So maybe why Bernard and the elves originally were so sassy and rude to Scott when he first arrived is because he was trying to go through that procedure because elves have an eternal life.
Yeah.
And Scott's trying to be all personal.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sir, I'm living forever. You're gonna die.
Yeah.
We can't get close." But eventually, in the movie, Scott began developing friendly relationships with each of the elves. He cared for them, showed appreciation, included them in his private life, bringing his family and Charlie all up into it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of when Bernard warmed up and started seeing him more than just a CEO of Christmas.
That makes sense.
And then, Bernard became a role model to Charlie, giving him that special snow globe. And so basically, Scott, when he became Santa, changed everything. However, before that, elves were supposed to run like a business.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think he. I think they weren't sad because he didn't die.
He's on vacation. Bermuda, Jamaica. What if we just layer conspiracies? It's
Love
like
that.
a conspiracy onion, that film.
Oh, that just it's deep.
All right. Next movie, Elf.
Love.
Elf. I went to Menards today, and for those who don't live in the Midwest, Menards is a home improvement.
It's like Home Depot, but slightly more
blue.
Yeah.
No orange to be found. Anyways, they had a $50 blow up of Elf.
Love.
And I was like, Will Ferrell, and I was like, I got $50.
You know what I think is weird about Menards?
What?
Why is their sign all green, but everything else is blue?
I have no idea.
I feel like as a
that.
child, I don't remember blue being a Menards color. I only remember green being a Menards color. And I didn't realize that blue was a Menards color until adulthood.
Yeah.
Because everything inside the store is green.
Well, their brands, Master Force, is all green.
Right.
The only thing that's blue is the uniform.
The shirts. Yeah, why?
I don't know. Because their Christmas uniforms are green.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't know.
Because, like, the pillars are blue, the signs blue, all the signs within the store, or sorry, they're green. Everything's green. Sorry,
I'm like,
that
you're a
messed up.
liar.
So, like, the sign's green, the pillars are green, all the signs within the store are green. So then why do the employees wear blue?
Oh. Ask John.
Because Lowe's is blue.
Lowe's is blue.
And Home Depot is
orange.
orange. So why wouldn't they want their own color?
Maybe they're like,
Conspiracy.
No one else can have green or blue. Because it will make you think of a NARS.
Yeah.
See big money.
Weird. Okay, sorry, continue.
No, you're fine. Anyways, Elf. Movie came out in 2003. It seems like an innocent Christmas film on its surface. Actually, it's a giant allegory for religion and loss of faith.
Wow, that's deep.
Like, at the end of Elf, there's an appearance of 4 horsemen in, like, kind of that really innocent movie. And it might be, and they reference, to the broken of the 7 seals. 7 levels, maybe.
Oh.
That Buddy has to go through at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy says, I passed through the 7 levels of the candy cane forest through the sea of swirly twirly gumdrops.
And then I walked through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Yeah. And it's almost as if Buddy was a mortal who found his way into heaven, the North Pole.
Okay.
But then he wanted to go where humanity was, like New York City, to find himself, find his purpose in life, and importantly, his dad. He left behind his adopted father who raised him his whole life. God. G-O-double-D. In order to get to New York City, which, as you know, is also, no, I think that's Vegas. That's known as Sin City, right?
Vegas is Sin City.
Anyways, a city of sin, if you will. He had to go through 7 trials just to reach where humanity lives. And towards the end of the movie, Buddy is close to losing his Christmas spirit because his dad kind of like pushed him away. After his dad shunned him, we see Buddy, who was like, Christmas, you know, kind of lose his faith in Christmas. And at this moment, Santa's sleigh like falls to the ground.
And he has to like bring him back.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of this idea that Buddy was the last and like strongest believer, and that maybe this whole movie represented humanity's like loss of faith in God and nearly the possible darkness like taking over. So when you think about it further, after Santa's sleigh plummeted to the ground, the 4 Central Park Rangers, i.e. the 4 horsemen, appear out of nowhere, and they chase like Santa in a rage. It takes a while, but with the help of like Buddy's love and belief of Santa, the spirit of Christmas, it's all restored once again and saving Christmas and maybe saving Earth from the apocalypse.
Oh my!
And it's like, so I will say, I think there are a lot of ties to religion in this. I think.
I mean, Christmas is a Christian holiday.
Crazy.
You know,
I do think it's interesting, like the ties between like, because isn't there like supposed to, no? How many layers in hell is there? 9?
I don't fucking know.
7? I think it's 7.
Wouldn't it make sense for it to be 6?
My Catholic guilt is eating me up inside. All
I didn't know there was layers. It's like an onion.
Because it's like
Google it.
Okay. How many?
See, I feel
layers
like you
to
could
hell?
pull me more in like, oh, this is supposed to be the illusion of like people trying to get away from like making Christmas more a like corporate, consumerist, capitalistic view versus like treating it like the true Christian holiday it is.
Oh, have you seen the signs that are like, there's 9 layers of hell?
There you go.
Circles of hell. God damn it. That took me a long time. I can read them for you in a second. Anywhoosies. Have you ever seen that sign that's like, keep Christ and Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always
Yeah,
like,
you can't say Xmas because then you're crossing out Christ from Christmas. Which also, I never got the Xmas thing anyway.
like Chris. Like a crisscross.
It's like a Crossmas though, then, not Christmas.
I don't know why it is. Anyways, going back to hell.
Yeah, I just remember my mom saying that one of her CCD teachers used to always tell her you can't write Xmas because then you're crossing out Christ from Christmas.
Sorry. I'm a bad Catholic. I don't know what to tell you. To me, that's hilarious. Anyways, the circles of hell, the first circle's like that limbo. It's like the unbaptized, like, but you're virtuous, but you're not baptized.
Gotcha. So you're saying layers of hell is like the worse you are, the further down you go. Got it.
Second layer, lust. Third layer, gluttony. Fourth is avarice.
They rank the sins?
Yes, they do. Avarice and prodigality. The misery and the spendthrift push like heavy weights together, and like it rolls. So it looks like a big like flour mill, basically, apparently, and it like smooshes people.
Good.
Fifth level is wrath and sulness. Sixth level is hearsay. Seventh level, violence.
Hearsay.
I'm a hearsay bitch, so I don't know what to tell you.
Oh no.
Seventh, violence. Eighth, fraud. Ninth, treachery. Which to me, I would change the order, but this is Dante's Inferno version. But yeah, 9 layers of hell. Anyways. So who knows? Maybe Buddy's still in hell.
God. Yeah, no.
Some days I'm a little like.
Do you ever? Okay, this is really bad.
Oh no.
Do you ever think about some of the religious things and you're like, this sounds like an afterthought? Like that sounds like we didn't plan this out. Like someone just like pulled out of their ass. The layers of hell, the deeper you go, the worse you are, but then they didn't actually think about it.
Oh, absolutely not. I think that all the time. Remember the last time we talked about Jesus? And I was like, we avoid topics of like great divide. We're gonna talk about religion.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
well, I'm like, okay, just side tangent. Why wouldn't you do, if you're gonna do all the 7 deadly sins, why wouldn't you have 7 layers?
That's what I was thinking. Or I could understand 8 if you're like limbo.
Fine. 8.
I don't know where the hell. Also, I feel like murder. I don't know.
You know, yeah. I guess we do need 9. Why give it different names?
But I feel like that falls under wrath and violence. Violence, wrath, whatever. All that shit. All the same. Anywho's moving on. So, who knows? Is it an allegory for religion, loss of faith? I don't know. Who puts chocolate syrup on their spaghetti?
Just Buddy.
Satan.
No, he doesn't. Satan doesn't like sweets.
He's like, I only eat spicy foods. Oh. Anyways, so the 5th one is All About a Wonderful Life.
Love that movie.
I haven't seen that one in a long time, but I
watch it every year.
I just think it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful.
It's a wonderful life, you know? So Mary's wish on the Granville house accidentally doomed George, is the conspiracy. So think about that wishing scene. Mary and George each break some glass in the old Granville house. George speaks his wish, you know, to like build and explore and blah, blah, blah out loud, while Mary refuses to tell George her wish, but is heavily implied that it has to do with George.
Right.
The theory is that the old Granville house is, in fact, a sort of like the monkey's paw situation and consists of ironic wish granting. George's wish was disqualified because he speaks it out loud, which is kind of like
against the rules,
rule
yeah.
For wishes. Why? I don't know. Mary keeps hers a secret, but as we see, like the viewer can certainly infer what she wishes for from her actions and motivation for the rest of the film. She wishes to marry George and have him stay forever with her in Bedford Falls. While the wishing scene might just seem like an establishing like character moment, so like Mary being faithful while George is like frustrated and angry, we see that many awful coincidences happen to poor George to keep him in town and align him with Mary. So right after the wishing scene, his father dies and he's forced to like take care of all the affairs. He then becomes entangled with job prospects and marriage. And finally, there's a stock market crash on his wedding day.
Yep.
Poor George. Well, all of these coincidences provide Mary with what she wants. The wishing house is playing like the long con as we see George begin to mentally dissolve into which only true contrition and the grace of God can prevent. All this to like ironically twist Mary's truest wish into a nightmare.
I feel like the whole point is like the guardian angel is just like leading him through the path that he needs to go.
Yeah. It's just all
the need to be so sad.
I remember like watching that movie and being like, nothing goes right for George in that movie. Like, obviously, he ends up being with Mary, and it's beautiful and
They
whatnot.
have kids, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
it's wonderful. But yeah, like, the whole movie, he's like, I just want to leave. And they're like, what about the stock market crash? Your dad's dead.
All this money that you got for your wedding, actually, you're going to loan it out to people.
I'm like, poor George.
Yeah.
I mean, it ends happy. You know, I think he likes Mary.
Oh, he loves Mary.
So therefore, it's fine. All that other stuff, water under the bridge. But yeah, it's this whole idea that, like, making that wish has kind of doomed George
Oh, for sure.
to be stuck in the same town. Mary.
Well, because isn't the whole thing the fact, not that they wished in the house, that he survived the, like, his brother, like, pulling his brother out and him only losing his hearing. Because if he died then all this stuff doesn't happen.
True. Probably. I need to watch that movie again. 1946.
Wow.
Old movie. All right, the very last one I will go through is about Christmas Vacation, which is my dad and my Uncle Chuck, our Uncle Chuck's favorite movie. Came out in 1989. And it actually, this theory says that it's a much sadder backstory kind of hidden within, as Cousin Eddie is actually a disenfranchised Vietnam War vet.
Jesus.
Which, like, era specific, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would make appropriate sense. No one comes back from war normal, especially the Vietnam War.
No.
But, so, like, think about it. Eddie is the only one to stand and put his hand over his heart when the pledge is recited at the dinner table. But when the national... I'm proud to be an American. But when the national anthem is sung, he salutes. And this is the correct salute for, like, an active military personnel.
Person. Yeah.
It gets sadder when reflecting on his line, explaining why he doesn't want to sled with Clark and the kids, as there's, quote, nothing between the ground and my brains but a piece of government plastic. Plastic provided by the VA after he had complications from the metal implant.
Ew.
So can we infer that he was maybe, like, shot? Or, like, had to dive in Vietnam and miraculously survived? So, like, when you think about it this way, all anyone in the film really does is, like, kind of mock him.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a dumbass.
He's kind of a moron. But, you know, I guess when he stood up and did the hand over the heart thing, I thought it was just like a funny.
I thought he was just stupid.
I thought he was just an idiot. You know? And then when he salutes, I do recognize, like, that was like an active duty thing.
Yeah.
But if he got shot, he won't be an active duty anymore.
Right. I don't know.
Honestly, I love movies. I'm just not the type of person to, like, sit and overanalyze any
No,
of them.
I'm not either.
I'm the type that if you tell me, like, this person loves this person, I'm like, cool.
Oh, for sure.
I don't look into it. All those stories can be found on Reddit for those who want to go in and look more into them.
Fun.
Do a little research, maybe watch a few Christmas movies now that you're scarred for life.
There you go. And that leads us into our second segment that we'll just wrap up with quick. And it kind of fits the Christmas movie theme.
Yay!
Mine was, I wanted to discuss when we recently were on a little girls trip, we were talking about the best Hallmark movie tropes.
Oh.
Or like Disney romantic film trope. And so I wanted to ask you, Emily, like, what Hallmark Christmas movie trope do you read and immediately go, I'm watching this? Or, like, is there one that you read and you're like, meh, not my cup of tea?
There's two. One is very specific because it's probably one of my all-time favorite, like, Hallmark Christmas movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called The Spirit of Christmas. And it's this idea that she goes into this house and the caretaker is good looking as all hell, but he's dead. Dead and gone. And the whole trope is that they fall in love, her and this ghost, and then he comes back to life. Doesn't make sense? No. But now there's been like a couple other movies that I have watched with that same thing where like one of the partners is dead.
Mm-hmm. That's what signs you up?
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm rooting.
Okay, this is like bad of me. Like, I'm thinking like Harry Potter. It's like he's gonna bring the resurrection stone and brings his dead bride back to life, and then they both end up killing themselves because they're not meant for the mortal world.
Luckily, none of those have happened. So that one is very specific because that movie that I watched, I was like, I watched it every like week of December at least 3 times, and then I was watching it like in the summer crying. And now it's not even on Netflix anymore, and I'm like, Netflix,
What are you doing?
We've got beef.
Probably because they're like, this is problematic.
That's so good. I am a very traditional like enemies to lovers trope person.
Yeah.
Well. I don't always love like the very stereotypical cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
I say that as if I
watch
all the
There's not like you're not gonna watch it. It's just like,
but I do love like when these two people meet, like them butting heads.
mm-hmm.
Think Bridgerton, season 2 specifically.
like you're the
you are the bane of my existence and the object
of all my desires. What?
Screamed at that part. That to me will always just like it hits so hard, and I'm like, this is such a toxic relationship. But what are you gonna do?
It's so fun to watch.
I love that trope. I think it's just I'll read books on it. I will watch shows on it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think Hallmark has gotten really good about like adding kind of that in to their very cookie cutter, like small town, one person
comes
corporate
back from
city.
This big city, meets up with someone from high school
who's now running a failing restaurant.
You're gonna work together on this like community fundraiser
and save the town and save the bakery.
Yes. No, mine, I know it's totally unrealistic, but like the little girl in me loves like a royalty romance.
Oh.
Or like because I just specifically think like the Christmas Prince trilogy, the Princess Switch trilogy, A Night for Christmas, like all of the traditional, like, I don't know. I just love it.
Princess and the Pauper.
Yes. I just love all of that. And I know it's ridiculous, but it's like, but maybe it's, or like celebrity randomly runs into these people, like on Let It Snow. It's like the singer comes or whatever. Like ridiculous. Like Starstruck from Disney Channel.
Perfect.
That's what I want. Because you're like, I'm just like the quirky girl that like no one loves me, but like I don't even know who you are. I'm just like over in the corner in my Converse sneakers.
Oh my god.
That is what I love. Even though it's ridiculous, it's like, oh, she's so quirky. She's so different from everybody else.
Yeah. It's the all like when we were One Direction was a thing and I was younger and I was like, if I go to a concert, I'm just like not gonna dress up all that nice because I'm different.
She's reading a book at the concert, and so that's what draws their attention. So we're gonna ask her to come backstage, and I'll be like, my friend drugged me to this, and I don't even know who you are. Like, I wouldn't be crying.
I'm sorry. If I went to a One Direction concert now as a grown adult, 24 years old, I would be sobbing. I would be one of those. I am. Me and the girls all together.
I could never be quirky. Maybe that's why I like it, because I'm like, this is not me, but I love it.
No. I will say the one thing with like the really quirky characters that I see in books or in movies, the really ones that are like, I just love him, but I have to play hard to get for like the entire time. I'm like, okay, girl.
I don't want them to try too hard. Like what I want them to just like be like happily oblivious, and then once they realize what option they have, they're all in. That's what I want.
I love a good love story though.
Oh, for sure.
In every way, shape, form. Well, we're not starting for like 10 minutes on Christmas tropes. Here we are. Well, thank you all for tuning in this week. We will come and see you again next week with another conspiracy theory, our bread and butter. Again, go ahead and follow us on all of our socials, X, Threads, Instagram at I don't think so _EH, or on YouTube, IDTS
Conspiracies.
Thank you. I was like, oh no. Should write that down. Anyways.
I hated that.
If we had a YouTube, well, we have a YouTube page. If we had a YouTube where you could see us, you would have just seen me whip.
Because she's a quirky girl.
I'm so quirky.
Bye.
Bye.